Business Book Summaries. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm getting into the book Atomic Habits, which talks about an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. James Clear, the author, wrote this book based on his personal experience of how powerful habits can be. When Clear was in high school, he faced a serious injury during a baseball game, which left him with multiple facial fractures and brain swelling. This injury disrupted his dreams of playing baseball professionally, but he didn't give up. He eventually made a comeback and even received accolades for his academic and athletic achievements. So, how did he overcome such adversity? The answer is habits. Clear realized the incredible impact of habits on our lives and decided to share his method of cultivating good habits with others through this book. He even established the Habit Academy, helping thousands of professionals, including those from Fortune 500 companies, to improve their habits. But changing habits isn't about just setting goals. Clear believes that it's more about transforming your identity and becoming the person you aspire to be. For example, to develop a reading habit, it's not about setting specific reading schedules, but about becoming someone who genuinely loves to read. Changing habits starts with changing how you see yourself. To make effective changes, Clear suggests starting with small habits and following a 4-step model for habit transformation: cue, craving, response, and reward. Part 1. Why are small habits so essential? Often, we focus on the big habits, ignoring the small, seemingly insignificant ones. However, these small routines play a crucial role in our lives. When trying to adopt a new habit, starting with a small change is more sustainable and effective than setting ambitious goals from the beginning. For example, if you want to wake up early, rather than abruptly aiming for 6 a.m., start by waking up just 5 minutes earlier each day. This gradual approach makes the transition much more manageable and sustainable, allowing the habit to stick over time. We often have a tendency to strive for significant changes all at once, but real progress comes from consistent, small improvements over time. It's like building Rome. It takes time and consistent effort to see the big results. This approach involves seeking improvement in every small detail. Let's look at how the British cycling team applied this mindset to their advantage. They paid close attention to every aspect, no matter how tiny it seemed. For instance, they cleaned their tires with alcohol to help the bikes grip the road better. The riders' clothing was carefully chosen too. They wore electrically heated shorts to maintain their muscles at the right temperature while cycling, reducing wind resistance. They went through extensive testing of various fabrics to find the best material for their racing suits. Even the inside of their bike transportation truck was painted white to spot any dust, which might affect the bike's performance. Every piece of these bikes was finely tuned. Even a small change could affect the bike's optimal performance and, ultimately, the racer's results. The team understood that even the most minor improvements mattered greatly. And indeed, these tiny improvements played a vital role in transforming the once unnoticed British team into a repeated champion. The reason why these small improvements matter so much is quite fascinating. If we reflect, our lives don't unfold randomly. They follow a pattern of exponential growth. Success or failure may seem to happen suddenly at a particular point, but the groundwork for it was laid much. For example, let's consider waking up at a specific time every day. Over time, your body gets used to it, like having a built-in alarm. However, on days when you need to catch an early flight, you set multiple alarms the night before to ensure you wake up on time. This feeling of needing to wake up early is like the cue or alarm that prompts a change in your routine. So, how do you effectively set these cues or alarms to change habits? The book offers helpful tips, which I've summarized into 3 main points. 1. Identify the habits you want to change. Start by recognizing the habits you want to change. The book suggests using a simple tool called the Habit Scorecard. You list all your daily habits and label them as good, bad, or to maintain. But here's a twist: habits aren't strictly good or bad. Instead, they're effective or not, depending on your goals and whether they help you improve. 2. Take action with a clear plan. Often, our challenge isn't motivation, it's lacking a clear plan. If you aim to wake up early, don't just set a vague goal. Instead, be specific. Say, I will do this activity at this time in this place. The more detailed your plan, the more effective it will be. 3. Use strategies for changing habits. Changing habits all at once can be overwhelming. Our bodies naturally follow established pathways, making it easier to stick to old patterns. Instead of trying to change everything at once, the book suggests starting with one habit and gradually adding more. You can stack habits by associating a new habit with an existing one. Also, adjust your environment to support the habit you want to develop and discourage the ones you want to break. Once you've set cues and taken action, the next step is craving. Craving is about making the new habit more appealing to motivate change. We humans like to reduce uncertainty and seek rewards. So, to make a habit more enticing, associate it with something you enjoy or look forward to. Dopamine, a substance released in our brain, plays a big role here. When we anticipate a reward, we're more likely to act. Lastly, to solidify a new habit, repetition is key. The more you repeat a behavior, the more ingrained it becomes in your brain. However, to make persistence easier, make the action as effortless as possible. Our brains are wired to conserve energy, so reducing resistance to taking action helps a habit stick. In a nutshell, changing habits is about recognizing the habits you want to change, having a clear plan, making the new habit appealing, and repeating the behavior to solidify the change. It's not about a sudden transformation, but a gradual and intentional shift towards better habits. Often, we think tidying up our desk or organizing our room is a hassle, but in reality, it's about making things easier for our future selves. For example, after finishing work, if you tidy up your desk and put your stationery in designated spots, the next time you need them, you'll know exactly where to find them. A clean and organized desk not only feels neat, but also boosts your work efficiency. Here's a neat trick to reduce resistance in adopting new habits called the 2-minute rule. The idea is that starting a new habit shouldn't take more than 2 minutes. Even if you want to develop a reading habit, instead of aiming for half an hour at the beginning, start by reading just a couple of pages. Once you start, you'll likely want to read more and get engrossed in the book. This rule makes it easier to start and build a new habit. The next step after initiating a habit is craving, which is about making the habit more enjoyable. For instance, a health worker in Karachi improved hand-washing habits by providing a pleasant-smelling soap that created more lather. People started to enjoy hand-washing, and more of them developed this important health habit. Making a habit enjoyable is all about providing immediate and visible feedback and making the benefits of the habit clear. To solidify a new habit, repetition is key. However, don't get caught up in the quest for perfection. It's more about consistent efforts in the right direction. On the flip side, to break a bad habit, make it repulsive. Share the consequences of your bad habits publicly or set up a penalty for yourself if you fall back into that habit. These strategies make you think twice before engaging in the bad habit. In summary, changing habits isn't as hard as we think. It's about focusing on the system and improving small details related to habit formation. The author proposes a 4-step model. Make the cue obvious, make the craving attractive, make the response easy, and make the reward satisfying. And remember, the biggest threat to success isn't failure, but complacency. When things get too easy, it's time to up the challenge. Habits aren't the end goal. Personal growth is, with habits as the tools. So start recognizing the person you want to become and take actions to make that change easier with habits. That's the essence of Atomic Habits. Consider subscribing to Business Books Summarize, and I highly recommend reading the original book for a deeper understanding. If you have more books you'd like insights on, feel free to share them in the comments.